Last night, the Red Sox showed off why they have one of the toughest lineups in the American League. Anchored by David Ortiz, the Red Sox have a solid 1 through 9 with a mix of youth and veteran hitters that wreak havoc on opposing pitchers. Tonight, it'll be Sean Manaea's job to slow down this Boston onslaught. The rookie will be making his 3rd career start and will be seeking his first Major League win, and he will have to do it all in front of the Fenway faithful. Manaea and the A's face the Red Sox in Game 2, and it starts right now. It is a nice night for baseball as we're at Fenway Park. It's Game 2 of the 3-game series, and the A's are trying to break a 3-game losing streak, so they'll need a big start from the young left-hander Sean Manaea. So it's Game 2 of the 3-game series. It's the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox, and it's coming up on CSN California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Sean Manaea will be making his 3rd Major League start. Ray, his first 2 starts, he went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs in each of those starts. So I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight against this good lineup in kind of a hostile setting, the fans at Fenway.
Well, they definitely have a good lineup, but it is a hostile environment here. Fortunately, he's been here when he's in the Cape Cod League. He did not play here, but what he's done so far against the Astros and the Mariners, he pitched well. Against the Astros, he threw a 3-2 slider, changeup. I thought against the Mariners, he had a chance to get a win because it was Felix Hernandez. A's had an 8-4 lead going to the 6th inning, but unfortunately, the bullpen was not the bullpen that we've seen, and he did not get his first Major League win. But the important thing, he's using all of his pitches, the fastball, slider, and changeup, going with his catcher, Stephen Vogt, who's behind the plate again tonight.
Red Sox had a season-high 14 runs last night. They also had 8 extra base hits. And, Ray, it really is a lineup that 1 through 9, it can hurt you, and it's got power and it's got speed.
Well, there are the numbers, and I think you said it best, 1 through 9, because even at the bottom of the order, they're coming through with the big hits. Top of the order, they're doing it. Even tonight, David Ortiz, the big poppy, is not playing, at least not starting, but they are doing everything. Chili Davis, their hitting coach in his 2nd season, has everybody really contributing throughout their lineup, and I think that's what you have to be a successful team. Red Sox are doing that now with all those great offensive numbers.
So good challenge tonight for the young left-hander for the A's, Sean Manaea. Up next, we're going to head back to the A's pregame live studios, check in with those guys, see what's going on, and then back to Fenway for lineups and first pitch. Should be a good one tonight. It's the A's and the Red Sox from 4 Yawkey Way.
BSN California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the Baconlicious Sourdough Bacon Ranch Combo, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota. It's Toyota time for big savings on legendary Toyota quality. Take a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, the Red Sox have taken the field, so we're just about set for baseball from Fenway Park. It's a very nice night. Not quite as cool as it was last night, although I'm sure it'll get a little chilly as the game goes on. Let's check the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. It's 69 degrees, and last night wind gusts were 20 miles per hour. Tonight 10. So again, a comfortable night for baseball. Red Sox with the classic all white uniforms, and the A's in the visiting gray. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Athletics in tonight's ball game. Starts with Coco Crisp. Coco's going to DH, and then Billy Burns hits second and plays center field. Reddick is in right. Chris Davis is in left. Stephen Vogt will catch. He'll hit fifth. Billy Butler gets the start at first base. Yonder Alonso gets the start at third base. Marcus Semien is hitting eighth, and Chris Coughlin is the second baseman hitting ninth.
And it's the Sean O'Sullivan show tonight for the Boston Red Sox. He makes his first start as a member of the Red Sox, one game out of the bullpen. But the A's faced him while a member of the Kansas City Royals, and he has yet to beat the Athletics in his career. A big boy. He throws all the four pitches you might expect a starting pitcher to throw. And he will make the start against the team that he's somewhat familiar with, at least the Oakland A's uniform, maybe not so much the players.
Defensively for the Red Sox, Chris Young in left, Jackie Bradley in center, Mookie Betts in right. And Josh Rutledge is at third tonight. Xander Bogaerts is the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia is at second. Travis Shaw slides over to first. And Ryan Hannigan will be the catcher.
And what a shock, he's pitching out of the stretch.
Yes, he is.
That's a reliever for you, but
Sean O'Sullivan in his first pitch of the game is in there for a strike to Coco Crisp.
well, it's amazing, and watching that, he starts in the stretch, but he has that slight movement. We saw and have seen David Price, Sonny Gray uses this type, and where he'll start it in a very, very minimal windup. But always concerned about those types of pitchers, that when they get the guy on base, they have to correct everything. Right now he's out of the stretch, but David Price, the new signee in the offseason, has the same type of move where he'll move ever so slightly. So that's a windup.
We're seeing a lot more of that.
Yes, we are.
Lately.
And they start to stretch, but they get just a little bit of movement, whereas in the stretch they bring the ball up in the glove in a set position. There's the stretch, and now there's the windup.
And that one called the ball. So the count 2-2. O'Sullivan thought he had a strikeout, and it should have been a strike on the swing and on the pitch. So
right.
Coco catches a major break twice. Coco had 250 in a good night last night. Couple of hits, scored 3 runs. And he lines one to Pedroia, reaches up to grab it. So that is the first out of the ball game. So what are we going to see from Sean O'Sullivan? Well, this is what he threw last year. 58% fastballs. Likes the slider and the splitter. He's a big fella, 6'1", 245 pounds. He's 28 years old, from San Diego.
And according to the report, said his father said, if you ever start at Fenway, I want to see you. And so he flew him in from San Diego to make the start tonight against the Athletics.
Burns bunts it back to O'Sullivan, who grabs it, flips to first, and that's the second out.
Well, maybe it'd be good for the A's if they don't score in the first inning.
Yeah,
last two they have, and they've given up a lot of runs.
Forget that scoring early. Larry Vanover is calling balls and strikes, and he's the crew chief. Larry's been around a long time, and you don't want to mess with him. So 2 outs. Here's Reddick. pitch is in there for a strike to Reddick. His batting average at 317. That 317 average is 7th best in the American League. He's had this great hot streak lately. Last night he was 1 for 4, but he had a couple of RBIs.
Bob Melvin had the gray jersey on last night. He's going with the sweatshirt tonight, trying to change it up. Bob will change every day until he can get something that works to try to get a win. So A's win tonight, he'll be the same way tomorrow night. Same spot. 6th season for the Athletics, and this is a tough road trip for the Athletics in the month of May in general.
Yeah, the A's 14-19 overall. They have lost 3 in a row and 7 out of 8. And you saw the May numbers. They're 9-8 on the road. Just trying to get something going. Still early yet. There's a shot, and that's a base hit. Stay hot, Josh Reddick.
Yeah.
Lines it right up the middle.
Well, a great shot of the breaking ball coming right into his wheelhouse, and you know he's not trying to roll over and hit the ball to the right side. Instead, breaking ball comes back towards the middle, and he hits it up the middle. And man, what a shot! Shift. Booger has no chance to get to it over the head of O'Sullivan, and 16 hits to straightaway center, 10 to left, 10 to right. That's
awesome.
That's great hitting.
Here's Chris Davis. Davis in the cleanup spot, hitting .222. He's got 7 home runs, 16 RBIs. Marcus Semien leads the A's with 8 home runs. Davis second with 7. One of those last night, a high towering fly ball that dropped into the first row above the green monster.
Well, this is what happened last night on a curveball, and Chris Davis makes contact. Good things happen, and that one fought through the teeth of the wind. It was blowing hard from left to right last night into the front row. You know, the player comes over from the National League, and you see him at Fenway. You think it's his first time with interleague play now. Chris said, no, I played here with the Brewers, so I've already played here before. But that's what interleague play does. And now that the A's have gone to Miller Park in Milwaukee, they can say they've been virtually to every park.
Well, that's why I was surprised to read that Yonder Alonso had never played against the Boston Red Sox.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, I have never seen that unless it's a younger player. But
right.
Alonso's been around for quite a while. So his first time against the Red Sox ever, and obviously first time in his ballpark.
Delay reminds us that A's have not been to the new Nationals Park, although they played at RFK Stadium.
That's the only one we.
But in the case of Alonso, it's just like the A's had never gone to Miller Park for like 18 years. Never played the Brewers because at the time there were 6 teams in the Central Division of the National League.
That's right.
And it kind of changed everything. But Milwaukee was not the place, at least to the new park. Went to the old County Stadium. You went there a few times, didn't you?
Just a few. I still miss their hot dogs.
Oh, the brats, yeah.
Side retired, so Reddick with a 2-out hit, nothing else. And it's Sean Manaea time here at Fenway Park as he gets set to take the mound. bat against Sean Manaea, and here's their lineup. Betts, Pedroia, Bogarts, Ramirez, Young, Rutledge, Shaw, Hannigan, and Bradley. Jackie Bradley last night, a grand slam and 6 RBIs.
The tall one, Sean Manaea, on the mound for the Athletics tonight, wearing number 55, his 3rd major league start. Inflated earned run average because he's gone a total of 10+ innings, given up 11 hits, 8 runs. But he left the game, giving up 4 runs in 1 inning against the Mariners in his last start, all coming after 2 were out. And then the A's scored a whole bunch against Felix Hernandez, but no victory for Manaea.
Davis, Burns, and Reddick in the outfield for the A's. Alonso at 3rd, Simeon at short, Coghlan at 2nd, Butler at 1st. Stephen Vogt is your catcher as Mookie Betts steps in the box. First pitch to Mookie Betts, a fastball just a little bit high. Betts was 1 for 5 with a double, a run scored, and an RBI. Last night's game, the Red Sox scored a season high 14 runs last night. They had 15 hits. They had 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and they received 5 walks. So they just kept the line moving, as baseball people like to say.
Mookie Betts jumping on the 1-0 fastball, and the one thing that Stephen Vogt, in catching now all 3 games that Manaea has started, he will use all of his pitches. And especially when a hitter starts looking fastball, he'll start throwing other pitches.
So 1-2 now to Betts. The slider stays down and away. Pedroia to follow, and then Bogarts.
Manaea just kind of slings the ball a little bit sidearm as he throws, whether to lefties or righties.
And that one's hit deep to left field, and it is gone. Home run number 5 for Betts, and the Red Sox lead 1-0.
Got a hanging slider, and the aggressive Betts, even with a couple of strikes, the slider up in the zone. And man, we saw last night a lot of pitches in the upper part of the strike zone, and this slider stayed right there and coming right back in. And normally Manaea is on top and drops the ball down to the back foot of the right-handed hitter, but this one stayed up, and Betts didn't miss it. And a line drive into and over the monster.
Gray Betts, coming into that at bat, was 1 for 18 against left-handed pitching this year.
That's probably why he had a big smile on his face as he got back in the dugout. So there's a changeup, a good one. So Evan Gattis got him. Nelson Cruz hit one way deep in center field in the last start, and now Mookie Betts. So if he's going to give up 1 to start, then he's ready to get a lot of outs.
Foul to the screen. Now the Red Sox this year as a team, it's a little bit an interesting note. Against right-handed pitching, they're hitting .296. Against left-handed pitching, they're hitting .226. Well, we'll see if that comes into play at all tonight. Gave you Betts' numbers against lefties. Pedroia 3 for 18. It's a 167 average. And the 0-2 pitch, high fastball, and Pedroia strikes out. So 1 away. Greater coverage of baseball. It's brought to you by T-Mobile, and it was a busy day, folks. Read on. Placed on the 15-day disabled list was Mark Canha and Liam Hendriks. When Dalkin was optioned at AAA and brought up from AAA, Ladendorf, Triggs, and Colomé. Daniel Colomé, lefty, who we saw last year. So a busy day, and there's probably more to come, and we say that because the A's will need a starter for tomorrow, and there is some concern with Jed Lowry. Fouled that ball off his foot yesterday, not moving around very well. So Valencia, hamstring, aggravated it a little bit last night, although He seemed to think it was going to be okay, and having an off day Thursday helps a little bit. I think they're maybe a little bit more concerned about Lowry.
Yeah, he was on crutches today. They did go to the hospital and got x-rays, and everything came back negative or positive, however you want to look at it. It was positive that nothing negatively was wrong.
Coghlan, nice play, spins and throws, but it's not in time. Bogarts with a head first slide into first base. Coghlan made a nice play. He ranged a long ways to his left. This is Lowry fouling the ball off his foot, and he was in a lot of pain. And that was a solid shot to the inside of the foot.
And then kind of shut it down and limp back the dugout. And today with the A's assistant athletic trainer Walt Horn on crutches, and we hope he's all right. But good news about the x-rays that nothing fractured, but the soreness, it's there.
So Bogart's aboard, and here's Hanley Ramirez. And Ramirez drives one to deep left center field, and it is gone. Tremendous home run by Hanley Ramirez.
But against Dustin Pedroia, Stephen Vogt called change-ups and sliders and kind of with a high fastball. This was a first pitch fastball to Ramirez, and we have seen, and throughout his career that we've seen him, he does this. He looks to try to drive the ball as far as he can, and he got a fastball to do exactly that, and he did not miss it. Left center, way up above the right of the light tower. It's up there somewhere.
Oh boy. Ballpark does get pretty deep out there, and that's a 37-foot wall that it's got to go over. So fourth home run for Ramirez, and the Red Sox lead 3-0. 10 home runs allowed in the last 3 games. Boy, it is a struggle right now for the pitching staff. That one hit deep but well foul. Coming into this game, A's had allowed 51 runs in their last 6 games. So just 6 games, but it's been tough to watch because you hate to see your guys get knocked around.
Well, Red Sox are in trouble because they scored first.
That's right. It's that kind of series.
Yeah, let's just hope that's what's kind of a road trip.
There's Chris Young. 2013, he was an Oakland A. And he lines one to left, and that's a base hit. So 4 hits in the inning by the Red Sox.
What were those ugly numbers, the Red Sox against lefties?
Yeah, I was trying
they must not have
put
known.
a good spin on this.
They didn't know them, did they? But you know, right now they know that he throws 3 pitches: fastball, slider, actually 2 and 4 seam fastball. But they're not missing the fastball. Betts didn't miss the hanging slider. Bogarts with an opposite field ground ball that turned out to be a base hit. So Sean Manaea, Stephen Vogt, all he can do is kind of mix up the pitches, which he has done. He got the strikeout against Pedroia by doing that.
So here is Josh Rutledge getting a start at third base. And the first pitch, a strike to Rutledge. Rutledge is 7 for 14 on the year. Played a couple innings in last night's game. He did get an at bat. He walked and scored a run. Started the season at AAA, and he wasn't there very long. Called up on the 13th of April from Pawtucket. Hard hit ball. Simeon has it to Coghlan, double play. So damage done by the Red Sox. They hit a couple of home runs, one by Betts, one by Ramirez. So it's 3-0 Boston after 1. second inning. Here's our Geico quote of the game. It's from the manager, Bob Melvin, talking about Sonny Gray. He's going through a tough time. We haven't seen him struggle like this. Everyone struggles over the course of their careers, and he'll figure a way out of it. He's right. We have not seen Sonny Gray. I mean, he'll have a bad outing every once in a while, but we have not seen a 3-game stretch like this where he just has not looked sharp at all. But he's too good for that streak to go on a whole lot longer.
Well, the one thing he did say, and he was correct, everything elevated got hit, and that will happen at this level.
I saw an interesting note in the newspaper this morning, Ray. You probably saw it too, about Sonny Gray's fastballs. Did you see that? He threw 41 fastballs last night, and he did not get one swing and miss on a fastball.
And they had it calculated 152 in his last 3 starts or something like that.
And like, I don't know,
2.
Yeah, which is
like
unbelievable.
2 swing and misses, which is hard to believe. But they also had his velocity lower than what it had been.
Yeah.
Not much, but enough that sometimes can make a difference. But I think the one thing is just the elevation and the lack of movement on the pitches. And plus, it seems that hitters aren't really biting at the curveball as much as we've seen. So maybe he's compensating by getting the ball up a little bit too much. And in the case of Martin, with the Mariners, hit the home run on the hanging curveball. Last night did not give up one, but
I mean, I don't think this pertains to Sonny Gray because we're only talking about 3 starts. It's a very small sample size. So, again, I'm not putting Sonny in this category, but vote taps it out. But I do think if a pitcher is somebody who does get a fair amount of swings and misses, and then if you stop seeing those swings and misses, that to me is a red flag for a pitcher.
That's right.
Not after 3 starts, but I'm saying maybe from 1 year to the next.
But if it's mechanical, they can figure it out. Kurt Young, excellent pitching coach. You can watch him firsthand. You can watch video, maybe try to pick up something that he's doing. But when you have a good pitching coach, then it is mechanical because pitchers just don't go from throwing the pitches down low and then all of a sudden elevating those pitches. There's something mechanically that's forcing that to happen.
So Stephen Vogt flies out to Chris Young. 1 away for Billy Butler. There's probably a little tweak somewhere for Sonny Gray. Well, you talked about maybe starting to stride out a little bit more.
Well, and it took Dustin Pedroia to look at a picture of David Price. We mentioned that last night. So maybe it's something very simple. And again, Kurt Young is excellent. And, you know, he may have seen something last night while he was pitching and confirm it on the video. And I think the great thing what Adam Roden does, and, you know, the video coordinators, you know, you can talk, but once you see it, then you say, yeah, you're right, because you can point out something that's going on and guys can correct it. You can talk to you red in the face, but blue in the face, but bottom line, until they see it, sometimes they don't believe it.
2-0 to Billy Butler. Butler 8 hits in 43 at bats. He's got 4 doubles. David Ortiz taking the night off. Good pitch there by Sean O'Sullivan.
Well, for a pitcher making his first start for his new team, O'Sullivan has to be happy to have 3 runs on the board after a half inning. So Hayes trying to get to him.
That one looped into center field, and Billy Butler has the second hit for the A's.
Billy would take anything he can get. So good to see him go up the middle on the base hit. But because O'Sullivan's making his first start and been in the bullpen, his pitch count might be critical for him tonight. Butler getting jammed, but strong enough to hit it in center field. I think in the last 3 bats for Billy Butler, everything's going first base, right field. So he's picking it up a little bit.
So Yonder Alonso will hit. Alonso playing third base tonight. Swung the bat well last night. A couple of doubles. A couple of wall-struck balls the other way. And this one is popped up. Coming back is Hannigan, and Hannigan's got room. So 2 away.
Somebody yelled up, which there's a pop-up for catcher, and it's not twilight yet, but from a catcher standpoint, you know it's a foul ball. It's behind you. It's just a matter if it's going to stay in play, and that one did.
So that'll bring up Marcus Semien.
Red Sox have done a good job putting seats wherever they could. And they have added as many as they probably can without going up higher, which I don't think they will or can. But when you have 37,000 people, you can charge whatever you want. Because they are standing in line in the cold, snowy winters and saying, let me buy tickets, and they buy them.
Yeah, I do not know where they could put any more seats.
I think they've maxed out.
2-0 to Semien. 8 home runs, 15 RBIs. 0 for 4 last night. He's got the most home runs of any shortstop in the American League so far. Second most in the major leagues. Trevor Story from the Rockies. Off the glove of Bogaerts, pops in the air, throws to second, not in time. Butler beat it out. They may take a look at it.
Well, Semien hooking the ball, and Bogaerts had it go off his glove and pop straight up, and he knew that immediately the only place to go was second. And Phil Pedroia, we got big Billy Butler coming in. He called him safe, and I would think if they did look at it, it would not be enough to overturn it, because if it's bang bang, umpire called him safe. Pedroia's momentum took him past the bag, so he could not tag Billy Butler when he went past the bag.
So give Semien a hit, 2 on 2 out, and here's Chris Coghlan. Coghlan takes the first pitch strike. Coghlan starting at second base tonight. It's his 7th start at second base. Of course, played a lot of third base when Valencia was on the disabled list. He's got 15 starts at third base.
Right now, he'd love to get a hit.
Yeah.
And hit it deep enough or in a gap someplace where Billy Butler could score from second.
And he's in a funk.
Yeah, he is.
He's 4 for his last 41. This is game number 34 for the A's. And Coghlan has started 27 of them. So he's been in there just about every day. Oh, 2 pitch. Popped up toward the seats down the left field line. It's a foul ball.
Well, one of the most impressive hits for Chris Coghlan was a 3-run home run to left field in Toronto at Rogers Center.
I think a lot of people were going after that foul ball, and that lady said, I'm just going to wait it out.
Wait till it stops rolling.
Picked it up. Another 0-2 pitch in the dirt, blocked by Hannigan.
Vasquez catching last night's game. Did a good job blocking balls. Same for Hannigan tonight. So Jason Varitek, longtime catcher for the Red Sox, catching those championships. He is kind of a roving catching instructor. He's with the club now. He says 3 or 4 times a year and goes to the minor leagues. He was the captain and did a great job catching for the Red Sox.
Coghlan, a base hit left center field. Bradley has it. Bradley's got a great arm. The throw to the plate is in time. Yes. Boy, it looked like Butler may have got his left foot in there. The throw beat him, but the throw was just toward first base a little bit. But watch the left leg of Butler.
Hannigan just went for the front of the bag, or the front of the plate. And if nothing else.
So the call will stay. Well, what a throw by Jackie Bradley. Butler thrown out at the plate. Three 0 bottom of the second. Billy Butler thrown out. Close play at the plate. It'll be Shaw, Hannigan, and Bradley here in the bottom of the second. And Hannigan may have a spike mark on his bicep. That's right, where Billy Butler slid in.
Well, he was willing. Watch the left arm of Hannigan to go straight in front of the plate. Billy Butler misses and hits the bicep with the cleats, and
I thought maybe that left leg got in there, but you're right. It actually ran into the arm of Hannigan, but look where Bradley is when he throws it. I mean, he's in like medium deep left center field. And the throw was a little offline, Ray, but the fact that he threw it there on a fly made it a little bit easier for Hannigan.
Yeah. Well, and Billy was about 20 feet from the plate by the time he caught it. So give Hannigan credit just going back to in front of the plate, figuring now, see if Billy had he could have jumped over the tag. If he had noticed it quickly enough, he could have stood up instead of sliding into the tag. He could have just kind of waltzed in and stepped over Hannigan's. He could not have been able to come up.
No, he really did. He blocked the plate with his bicep.
Yeah,
he really did.
What he did. Yeah.
So pretty good play by the catcher as well. And here is Hannigan. Jackie Bradley, we know he's got a good arm now. We knew it before, but he just showed us. Very impressive. Alonso scoops. He'll throw on the run in time. Second out of the inning. Well, Manaea would love a nice quick inning here.
But he got a big double play with Rutledge hitting. Ball hit hard, but right to Simeon. And if he could hold him there, and the A's again having the Red Sox score early. Whereas the A's the last two games have had 3-0 and 4-1 leads, but not been able to hold them. Just as long as the Red Sox can't add on or don't add on.
First pitch, strike to Jackie Bradley. Well, after his big night last night, Bradley now hitting .303 with 4 home runs and 21 RBIs. Butler has it, drops it, picks it up, steps on the backside, retired. So that is a quick inning for Sean Manaea. Third inning coming up. It's the Red Sox 3 and the A's 0. A's Baseball on CSN California is brought to you by AAA. What does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for details. 3-0, the Red Sox lead. 3 in the first for Boston. That's Wally, Red Sox mascot.
His last name Pip. Wally the Green Monster's right. Well, at least the A's got 3 hits last inning. Couldn't score a run, but came close. So the A's are getting their hits against Sean O'Sullivan.
Right at Pedroia. Hard hit ball by Coco Crisp. Coco's hit a pair of balls hard. Has nothing to show for it. And that'll bring up Burns. Sean O'Sullivan, the starting pitcher tonight, was signed as a minor league free agent this past offseason. And as Ray said, we have seen him a couple times. He's bounced around quite a bit. Angels, Royals, Padres, Phillies, and now the Red Sox. But he has made a couple starts against the A's in his career. Both times he started against them, he was a member of the Kansas City Royals.
Well, as the late Sparky Anderson once said, if he's left-handed, he's breathing, I'll take him. In case of Sean O'Sullivan, if he's right-handed and can start and relieve, we'll take him. That just goes to show you, and again, nothing against O'Sullivan, but if you're a pitcher in today's world, you stick around until they basically send you home, because you have a chance. Pitching is, you're always looking for pitching. Look at 30 major league teams, and most have 12 pitchers. It's 360 that you're looking at, and you're looking for, 150 of them be starters. Everybody's looking for pitching.
Oh, and as the A's have found out, injuries tend to happen.
Yeah, you can never have enough.
Burns toward right field, but Betts is going to go over and back. So during the intermission, this gentleman that received the ball right there was put up on the screen, and it's his birthday today, and it's a big birthday. It's a milestone birthday. He is 100 years old. How great is that? 100, and he's sitting in the front row at Fenway Park. Young lady paying attention. She gave him the baseball. 100.
World War II veteran. Wearing that cap proudly too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Don't blame him. Front row.
He's got a cane. He's got a cane, and he probably hates using it. Another line shot by Reddick for a hit. No question. Now, this is the hottest we've ever seen Josh Reddick.
Well, and really, unfortunately, twice he's hit now with 2 outs. And man, that's as good a swing you're ever going to see from any major league hitter. And back up the middle, so another hit to center field, and it's like, you're going to throw it, I'm going to hit it, and it's probably going to be in play. It's going to be a hit.
He's got 15 hits in his last 23 at bats.
Incredible.
That's very hard to do. And here's Chris Davis. Well, I think the A's offensively, and we told you how many runs they've allowed in the last 6 games, and it's a lot, 51. The offense has scored runs.
Yeah.
Even last night. I mean, the A's had 7 runs and 11 hits last night. Bogaerts grabs it to Pedroia, side retired. Reddick is stranded. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. It'll be Betts, Pedroia, and Bogaerts. 3-0 Red Sox. Time now for our Ford Right choice. It was July 6th of 2009, and what a performance by a rookie by the name of Brett Anderson. It was a shutout at Fenway Park. 2 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 111 pitches. The A's won that game 6-0, and he was dealing that day.
You know, the tough thing about that game, while it was great for Brett Anderson, it was also the return of Nomar Garciaparra. Faced John Smoltz of the Red Sox then, and Nomar is such a class guy. He said, this is all about Brett Anderson. Forget about me. I mean, the fans were outstanding, giving him a standing ovation, but Brett Anderson was dealing. It's rare, very rare for a left-hander to pitch a shutout at Fenway Park, much less a 2-hitter.
Yeah, it was a dominant performance. Indeed, he beat John Smoltz. Brett Anderson, since then, has bounced around a little bit now with the Dodgers, but on the disabled list with back surgery.
You said he accepted the qualifying offer from the Dodgers?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Smart man. $15.8 million.
Pretty good QO, huh? As they say, the QO.
So Mookie Betts has the 5th hit for the Red Sox. Pedroia takes outside. Pedroia struck out his first at bat. Pedroia is 2nd in the league in hits. Only Manny Machado has more. Machado has 43. Pedroia has 42.
Talking to Torrey Lavolo, the bench coach for John Farrell, and he said, you look at the success of the young players, Betts, Bradley, Bogarts, all the young players. It's a result of one Dustin Pedroia, and he said it's just a matter of his work ethic, the way he prepares, the way he plays the game. Those other kids watch him, will be just like him.
And that one is belted to right center, and nobody's going to get it. Goes off the wall. Betts rounds third. They're going to wave him home. The throw to the plate is just late. Betts slides in safely, and it's 4-0. Now the A's executed it perfectly, and Betts just beat it with his great speed.
Well, it was a pitch that Pedroia hit to right center. Nobody was going to get to it, and Burns, playing in center, got to it eventually, got the ball back in, did not go into the bullpen. The relay there, the relay to Coghlan, the strong throw, but you're right, the Betts slide just barely getting it in. And I don't know if we get a chance to see Brian Butterfield, the third base coach, but he was near home plate, waving Betts all the way, but just barely got in safely, slid, and crossed the plate.
So Pedroia, RBI double. His 18th RBI of the year.
3rd year at third base for Brian Butterfield. He is down the line now, but he was really coming down the line, waving Betts. Well, that's a run the A's were hoping the Red Sox would not score, because they want to come back in this game, and I had given up 3 in the first inning, tried to shut them down, had a great second inning, but now single double in this inning.
And Bogarts, he's got a base hit. Pedroia will round third. Pedroia will come in to score, and it's 5-0 Red Sox. No cheapies in this inning.
On the top of the batting order, and that's really been the demise for Sean Manaea so far in this game. And another elevated fastball into right center.
So 7 hits off Sean Manaea now and 5 runs. Nobody out in the 3rd inning now. Hanley Ramirez will hit. This is where, Ray, and it's hard to do, but if you're any pitcher, but especially a young pitcher, you got to figure out a way to still try to pitch 6 innings in this game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bob Melvin and Kurt Young are already talking to the A's dugout, and that's not good.
You gotta figure it out.
First inning, first pitch fastball. Hanley Ramirez, home run number 4. A long shot to left center. Might have gone over the monster.
A little flare. That's going to be trouble, and that's going to fall. It's going to allow Bogaerts to go all the way to third. So Ramirez, just a little lob wedge right over first base.
Well, you know, saying the same guy hit them both. One over the monster, one same swing, only the fastball got in on him and just flared it. Maybe a hard slider or whatever it was, high leg kick, and that swing hard and hope it falls, and it did with Bogaerts. Whenever he read it perfectly to get to third base, said not much anything the A's could do. That's 4 consecutive hits in the inning.
So Larry Vanover is going to break up the meeting at the mound. They're going to start moving around a little bit out there, but nobody warming up. Colomb is going to warm up. And that one is driven to left, and that's going to bang off the green monster. So Chris Young has another hit. So 5 straight hits here in the 3rd inning.
What do they say about the green monster? It takes away more home runs than it gives up. Well, may have. That ball was smoked, and Chris Young going for 2. That might have been a home run on the Parks because of the 37-foot wall. Another dent is put in the monster as a result of that hard hit ball.
So now Rutledge will step in. First pitch is on the outside corner, first strike. Rutledge hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and that's what Manaea needs right here. Because there have been rocket shots hit all over this field in this inning.
Well, even the double play was hit hard right at the shortstop. Not that one. Whoop.
Stays up for Billy Burns.
Did the Red Sox know what's coming?
I think that's a fair question.
The way they're swinging, they're on everything. Chili Davis is good, but the way the ball is being hit hard tonight by the Red Sox, that's amazing. Stephen Vogt, and again, giving him credit because he's trying to mix as many pitches as he can, different types and different counts, but so far nothing is working for Sean Manaea. Centering too many pitches, and once again a pitcher is getting hit hard because of the location of the pitches.
And Shaw hits it fair down the right field line, bounces off the side wall. Ramirez will score. Here comes Chris Young. Reddick's throw offline. Vogt to third, and that is in time.
Shaw doesn't think so, but good play by Stephen Vogt to throw up the line. It's going to be a double try to go to third on the throw, and Bob Melvin, unfortunately for Sean Manaea, is going to be coming out very early. Breaking ball location, just left it in the inner part of the plate, and Billy Butler went to the dive over the bag, even though it landed fair, and that's why it was called fair. And then with 2 runners scoring, the throw up, and Stephen Vogt, nice play, quick throw, and quick tag at third. Shaw trying to go to third on the play. Alonso, a quick tag.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
forward to this. Relive one of your favorite 70s classics on Grease Movie Fireworks Night, presented by Xfinity. Friday, May 20th, which is Game 2 of the A's 4-game series against the New York Yankees. After the game, fans can watch the fireworks show from the outfield grass. As always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks. It should be a good night. The Yankees in town. The A's swept the Yankees at new Yankee Stadium for the first time that had happened. So maybe a success would take them at the Coliseum, but
that's a 4-game series.
Yeah, for Sean Manaea, a tough night. 10 very hard hit balls, 8 runs. And it didn't take a lot of pitches to do it.
Daniel Colomb comes in. So the lefty faces Hannigan. Colomb just called up from minor leagues, and he was pitching well. 14 strikeouts in 14 innings. ERA of .64. Good breaking ball there.
What's the old saying that if you show up, put on a uniform, you might get in the game? Well, Colomb didn't take long. 3rd inning. You're in the game at Fenway Park, and excellent 12-6 curveball, a couple that Hannigan has not been able to make contact.
Colomb pitched in 9 games for the A's last year. He also saw time in the big leagues with the Dodgers. And there's a good breaking ball again, and Hannigan strikes out. And the side is retired. Another big inning for the Red Sox. They now lead 8-0. On CSN California is brought to you locally by Energy Upgrade California. Energy tips, rebates, and financing options are available at energyupgradeca.org. Fenway off in the distance. We need Raleigh right now. We need Raleigh to pitch 6 innings.
Well, the 74 World Series Game 1, he came into the 5th inning, pitched 4 1/3, so it's not impossible for him to do that, although at this age I doubt that he'd make it. No, Ricky wants to come out of retirement in the Hall of Fame.
We need him too right now. 8-0 Red Sox lead, top of the 4th inning. Vogt, Butler, and Alonso.
I thought maybe after the Red Sox scored 3 in the 1st that could hold them there a chance, get to O'Sullivan, but now it's 8-0. Going to have to make a big comeback, and Colomb's going to have to continue to do the job as well as the rest of the bullpen.
Slow breaking ball for a strike, 1-2. Stephen Vogt hit a fly ball to left field in the 2nd inning. Vogt was 1 for 5 last night. Struck out a couple of times. And this one in the air. toward Bradley, who trots in, and Bradley has it. So 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Did you see we talked certainly favorably about Bryce Harper yesterday. Did you see the video from him last night?
Where he got ejected?
What he did after he got ejected?
No, that part of it.
Yeah, it's not so good. Bryce Harper, who got ejected earlier in the game last night. And then the Washington Nationals won the game in walk-off fashion. And Bryce Harper came back out onto the field to celebrate, which you're not allowed to do that. So that is kind of mistake number 1. But as is, and Billy Butler has a base hit to left field. As the celebration started, he kind of veered off from the celebration and said something to the home plate umpire who was standing there. It was pretty clear what he said. It was a profanity toward the umpire, and you really can't miss what he said, and it's out there on video, and it wasn't good. It really was not good.
Well, first of all, when you're ejected, you go to the clubhouse and you're not allowed no matter what happens.
Well, that's the first mistake.
Exactly.
He came back out there.
Well, and obviously, or evidently, there must have been an intent to come back out to celebrate one thing, but no.
He may have wanted to say what he said, and the problem is it's probably going to get him in some trouble. Because he really made 2 mistakes.
Well, getting ejected is the first. Coming back out on the field is the second. And then,
well, yeah, so you're right. It was actually 3 things.
Yeah. So they're probably.
Well, it's just
you don't know.
It's not necessary. Your team won the game.
No. It's definitely not necessary. Now there are hard rules about even managers and I think. John Farrell's team, he had been ejected in New York and came back because he was in behind the dugout, and when David Ortiz had the argument in the 9th inning, he came back out to restrain David Ortiz, but I think he'd already been ejected.
I think John Farrell, he may have known what he was doing was wrong, but his intent was good. He was trying to get Ortiz out of there so it didn't escalate anymore.
Now I read he was fined but not suspended.
Exactly.
But an undisclosed amount. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he wanted to keep the big guy in the game and didn't work, or at least to stay in the game, but still is out.
Slowly hit toward Pedroia, and Semien is retired. So another pretty good inning for Sean O'Sullivan. 8-0 Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the 4th. The A's bottom of the 4th. The A's Insider Podcast is live on CSNCalifornia.com. Log on each week as our insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. The A's Insider Podcast with Joe Stiglitz on CSNCalifornia.com. It's also available on iTunes. He's decked out. Got the A's necklace on. Daniel Colon back out there as he'll face Jackie Bradley, Mookie Betts, and Dustin Pedroia. But one more thing in the Bryce Harper incident, which we were talking about too, Ray, is, you know, for Harper, every umpire is going to see that.
Yeah.
And if you're an umpire, you're going to be like, okay, really?
Yeah.
After you won a game, and I mean, it just didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
But I think Joe Torre is a disciplinarian in Major League Baseball, and he's the one that lays down the discipline on field, if you will.
It just makes
it's not good. I mean, it's all bad, and there are just too many things that transpired in that one event that. But yeah, you win a game.
You win a game, exactly.
Should be in the clubhouse waiting for them to celebrate because you know you've been ejected. You're not allowed to go back out.
Here's Mookie Betts. Taps it slowly. Simeon has it. And he fires across in time to get Betts.
Well, Daniel Colon is a hero.
Yes, he is.
It's 3 batters and 3 easy outs. Good curveball, and must have been, or might have been, and probably told by Bob Melvin, Kurt Young, be ready because
we need you.
It'll be the first one that we go to. This will be the 3rd consecutive game that the A's Sunday, last night, and tonight that the starting pitcher has gone very, very short.
Pedroia takes a breaking ball outside. Bob Melvin before the game tonight talking about it's tough right now. You're using guys you don't really want to use. And last night he had to use Doolittle and Axford, two guys that you're not going to use those guys unless you absolutely have to in a game you're down by a bunch of runs. Axford gets hit, but what are you supposed to do? He said, if I don't use those guys, he said, I may be going back to Josh Fegley for the 2nd game in a row. Don't really want to do that.
We were thinking that, and you know, don't want to wear out Fegley.
No, exactly. I mean, you know, he's got good stuff. How about this? Colon pitched last night in AAA, and he threw 21 pitches.
Well, you got Graveman Sunday 2 2/3. Gray last night 3 2/3, and that will kill a bullpen quickly.
So Pedroia gets the walk. So no surprise then that the A's bullpen has thrown the most innings.
As you mentioned, and we talked about John Axford getting hit very hard on the foot and limping around. I said, you know, we heard that upstairs. He said, I'm not surprised because we could, and it was a thud. But you're right, a game he probably should not have been in. But you know, you can only use guys so much, and now the point in the 4th inning, not even holding the runner at first base. That says a lot about the score already. It's Pedroia not being held, and it's one of those kind of unwritten. But this is Fenway Park, and it's not like this is 8-0, and it's a given that it's going to be a blowout. But right now, the A's are assuming that Pedroia, even with the lead, not being held, is not going to be running.
Xander Bogaerts is 2 for 2, 2 singles, 2 runs, and an RBI. And he's taking some big rips up there. Nobody's getting cheated. And the Red Sox have a bat in their hand. Young man right down the 3rd base line, and that's where the seats angle at kind of a strange angle, but you are very close, right behind the 3rd baseman. You will get some foul balls down there, but you better be ready and you better be paying attention. That's a TV right on that wall. Well, they have a screen in front of them, so they're okay. But down past the A's dugout there, wide open. Picked up by Vogt, fires to first. Nice play by Stephen Vogt for the third and final out. Fifth inning coming up from Fenway. All Red Sox so far. They lead 8-0. On CSN California is brought to you by Clipper for work, play, and all points between. Use Clipper instead of cash to pay for your transit. Oh, that's a big fella. You like lobster? Wow, that's your guy right there. Man.
Where is that? Did you get that, Delaire? Dinner?
That was not in the press room.
No, it wasn't.
It was not in the press room. Nope. Look at that thing. Man.
That's by the pound. You're paying a fortune.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to cost you, but it would be good.
For a whole table full. You can share that.
That's right. Get the bibs out.
Yeah.
Coughlin had a base hit in the second inning. Butler was thrown out at the plate to end the inning. Keep the A's off the board. 2-1 now. Sean O'Sullivan has given up 6 hits, but the A's have not been able to score.
Now, this is what Stephen Wright did on Sunday night in New York against the Yankees, and O'Sullivan getting a spot start. A lot of run support, and really it's his game.
60 pitches. For a decent ratio. 39 strikes, 21 balls. Two pitches right there. Strike 3 called. Coughlin knew it. That's the first strikeout for O'Sullivan. Ball had a little tail on it. Came back just enough to lock up Coughlin.
Here it comes, and Hannigan set up and ends up right down the middle, and all it needs to do is start inside enough that a hitter freezes. And a lot of times good pitchers, remember Derek Lowe pitched for the Red Sox, he would start that turbo sinker at the hip of the left-handed hitter, and it would just really take a serious dive right in the middle of the plate.
Top of the order, and Coco Crisp. Coco's hit a couple of balls hard. He lined out to second his first at bat, and then in the third he had a hard ground ball to Pedroia. And now it's 2-0. High strike call by Larry Vanover. Coco didn't think so.
Well, Coco thought high, and it's at the letters. Normally that is too high.
That one into the luxury level, and then it bounces downstairs. And we got a winner. What's going on there? Strike 3 called, and Coco knew it. Back-to-back strikeouts looking. Sean O'Sullivan.
Exact same pitches, 2-2. Slight movement of the fastball, and that one really kind of started in the middle of the plate. Coco must have been looking for something else.
So that'll bring up Burns, who's 0 for 2. Rangers and the White Sox are underway in Texas. It's a 1-1 game in the bottom of the first. White Sox won last night 8-4 in 12 innings. Todd Frazier with a grand slam in the top of the 12th.
Might be the White Sox MVP this year.
Yeah.
He and Chris Sale.
Outside corner strike. Rodon for the White Sox. He's 1-4. Holland for the Rangers. He's 3-2. White Sox continue to play well. They've won 4 in a row. And 7 out of 9. So the Rangers have their hands full with the White Sox right now. Line drive, and that's going to be a hit for Burns.
Same slider that Josh Reddick took up the middle for a base hit, and slider going into the left-handed hitter, and that's why I think O'Sullivan's been throwing a fastball to the lefties. With this with slider coming right back in, plus it left it up enough that Billy Burns hit it solidly and on top of the ball. That's always important, as we have seen with Billy Burns, to hit on top of the ball, drive it on the line drive. So a good swing by the A's center fielder.
And here's Reddick. 2 line drive singles for Reddick tonight.
Bogart does not know where to play him. Slightly first base side of second now in the outfield grass. Had been over closer to shortstop with a couple of hit up the middle and has not been able to get to him. So I guess Reddick will hit it right where he's playing at shortstop. With the big gap on the left side.
But Reddick now hitting .328. And there's a strike. Nick Castellanos from the Tigers leads the American League in hitting. He's hitting .380. So there's that 15 for 23 for Reddick. That's a .652 average.
Reddick was hitting .268 in the first game of the doubleheader against the Orioles. .268. That's what he came in from Oakland. And now what he's doing is off the charts.
He's having fun. Even though the A's not playing very well.
But at least he has a runner on base this time. The first 2 at bats came with nobody on, singles up the middle.
And that one a strike right at the knees. Reddick got to the big leagues in 2009 with the Red Sox. He played in 27 games. That was his first trip to the big leagues. 29 games in 2010. 87 games in 2011, and then traded to the A's. Swing and a miss. Struck him out with a breaking ball. 3rd strikeout for O'Sullivan. In fact, all 3 of them came in this inning. We're getting hungry up here because right now the scoreboard is not in our favor.
Check out the A's President Suite located right above the first base bag. Suite includes an extensive high-end food package, beer and wine, VIP parking, and more. Availability is limited for this popular experience, so book your President Suite today by calling 510-638-GO-A's or by visiting athletics.com/president. If out on your birthday, you should get this President Suite on the 20th so you can watch the fireworks on the 20th.
Sure.
Fireworks, President Suite for you. That should be good. We'll just do the game over there, do the A team there. You know,
that's fine.
In the President Suite, and we'll just celebrate your birthday. That'd be good.
I appreciate you sticking around for the fireworks with me. That's nice of you.
Whether you're fireworks, it's your party.
That's right. Grease. Hanley Ramirez, 2 for 2. A very long home run in the first inning. So we did our best to follow that home run by Hanley Ramirez in the first inning, and it looked like it was a very long home run, but we lost a little bit in that light tower. And we saw the ball kind of bounce down. You see it come down, but what we didn't realize is how high it hit up on the light tower. And we are now being told that the home run estimated distance was 468 feet.
Well, it was still rising.
So I mean, literally, it had to hit.
Wow.
Halfway up.
Yeah.
A third of the way up those light towers.
And the fact that it was rising, maybe that's what they factored in, that if it kept going, it hit the Citgo sign out there, maybe.
Over the freeway.
Yeah. And that light tower stopped it. It would have been nice for it to elude the light tower and see how far it could have gone.
Heads up on Lansdowne Street, right behind the Green Monster. Breaking ball in the dirt. Just try to follow the ball and see if you can see where it hits. How high up on the light tower.
Boom. It hit about.
So it's about 4 sections up.
Yeah.
So that's about a third of the way up. My, that is a long way. It sounded long.
Well, it sounded like it was definitely going to leave the park. And had the light tower not been there, it probably would have.
And this one is drilled to right. That's a pretty good job of hitting by Hanley Ramirez. Funny watching him take batting practice today, Ray. He took a couple rounds of batting practice and hit nothing but balls to right field.
Yeah.
And here's a guy who he likes to hit home runs, but this is a good job of hitting.
Again, an elevated fastball. Maybe we should just talk to Adam Roden. Say, Adam, show us all the elevated pitches that A's pitchers have been throwing and see the results. And we're going to be we'll be disappointed, but the results are going to be favorable to the hitters up there, because it's amazing how hitters, of course, that little fastball that was pretty well thrown by Minaya to Ramirez, but he just dropped the head of the bat on that one. But otherwise, they're usually hit hard, and not something you want to see coming out of your pitcher's hands.
Chris Young's got a couple of hits. Chris Young is now 32 years of age.
After the display he put on at Minute Maid Park against the Astros when he's with the A's, I'm shocked the Astros didn't sign him.
That's for sure.
When he became a free agent.
And Chris Young with the A's in 2013. He hit 12 home runs in 107 games, and then a couple of years in New York. Make it 3 years in New York. I take that back. 3 years in New York, but 1 with the Mets, 2 with the Yankees. But last year he had a good year, hit 14 home runs, and he was a free agent, and the Red Sox signed him to a 2-year $13 million contract. So he's not an everyday player anymore like he was with the Arizona Diamondbacks, but a pretty good part-time player now.
But he wasn't with the A's, and that was the first year the A's thought they could bring him in to be kind of a part-time, and it just didn't work out because it never really put up the big numbers as a part-time player of the A's. And maybe over the past few years he's developed into one. Good block by Stephen Vogt, but no chance to throw out Ramirez, who broke as soon as the ball hit the dirt. Stephen pouncing on it. That's where the runners take a secondary lead and then they take off, and that's usually no chance to throw them out once the catcher and the ball gets away from the catcher that much.
Ramirez now at second base. This is the batting practice by Hanley Ramirez, and he did this for a long time.
What's that?
Look at the great baseball mind standing right behind the batting cage. So I mean, you can tell that they're trying to pitch him outside, so he's working on that.
Yeah.
So Chris Young chases that one, and he strikes out. Colon gets his second strikeout.
Well, Colon's been throwing a very good curveball. That one taking a lot of off the pitch. Got Hannigan with 3 consecutive curveballs.
So here's Rutledge. Rutledge has hit into a double play and lined to center. Astros and the Indians are underway. Top of the second, no score from Houston. Astros won last night 7-1, so the Astros slowly starting to play a little bit better. They've won 5 out of 7. And they're still 7 games under 500. They're starting to feel a little bit better about the way they're playing, and they're supposed to get Lance McCullers back very soon. In fact, his next start may be in the big leagues, and I think that would be a big boost for them.
Well, there's no team in baseball that should ever look at a slow start and figure the season's over. It's not postseason. It's regular season, 162 games. And you never want to just feel like you get buried and just going to quit. And that's where you need to have the veterans and hope that you can continue to go out and play and try to break it and start playing good baseball and pick up some wins.
3-0 the count to Rutledge with Travis Shaw in the on deck circle. And that is a ball inside, and it's a walk. So 2 on 1 out for Shaw. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays are a perfect example of that. Last year they were just kind of rolling along about 500 for the first 3 months of the year, and then they started to get hot, and then when they got hot they just could not be stopped. Andrew Triggs gets up.
Well, let's see now if he walks towards, he's got to make sure he goes towards the A's dugout, because it's just too bad. In his debut was at Tiger or Comerica Park for the Tigers, and the A's were on the first base side. It's just kind of automatic. You head the direction, but Baltimore and here, both the A's dugouts are in and on the third base side.
And Shaw drives one left field. That's hit well. Headed for the monster, and it's up over the monster. A 3-run shot, and it's 11-0. Travis Shaw with a 5 RBI night.
Well, and you talk about using the green monster opposite field. There's no reason with that kind of power to think about pulling a pitch outside. He doesn't. He goes opposite field, and that's a home run any place. Here it's over the monster, and it looks good, but bottom line, that might have had the distance to go out in most parks.
So here's Hannigan, who swings and misses. So we've been impressed with that young man, Travis Shaw. And just another good-looking young player for the Red Sox. Alonso has it. He'll throw on the run, and that's out number 2.
You know, the way Shaw's playing, and what you said last night, it's exactly true that during spring training he won the job over Pablo Sandoval, and now Sandoval's out for the season pretty much, and he better be looking for another position.
DH. Right? Well, I mean, next year that may be where he ends up going. We're talking about Sandoval, obviously.
And that's assuming David Ortiz does retire, and he's pretty adamant saying he's going to. But I mean, Shaw's a big boy at third base. You know, he's big and a power position. He's showing the power. So him wanting to tap Chili Davis on this side. Well, Chili Davis is a switch hitter, one of the best going opposite field from either side. There's Veritek now to the left of Shaw. Jason Veritek and had retired or has retired obviously and working for the Red Sox in various capacities.
2 good guys to sit in between.
Yeah.
1-1 pitch, another line drive base hit. So Bradley has his first hit.
Oh, Veritek was another Mariner.
That's right. That was a bad trade.
Yeah. Tillman and Adam Jones with Baltimore, and go get him, Mr. Triggs. And Colomb just elevated that fastball, and I mean, there's some hard shots here tonight.
So it'll be 2 innings of work for Colomb. He is done. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
The telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Red Sox with an 11-0 lead, bottom of the 5th inning. Andrew Triggs is the new pitcher for the A's. So it'll be his 3rd appearance as he faces Mookie Betts. 2 outs here in the 5th with Jackie Bradley first base. With that hit, Jackie Bradley extended his hitting streak to 16 games. That's the longest active streak in the majors right now. Everybody's hitting for the Red Sox. They got 13 hits now. Colomb goes 2 innings, gives up 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
Well, the one thing the A's and Bob Melvin likes about the the right-hander Triggs is his delivery, and a little bit of sidearm, kind of slings the ball, tough on right-handers, and A's are looking for him to throw at least a couple of innings.
Good pitch there. A lot of sinking life, 91 miles an hour. 2-2 to Mookie Betts.
It's a good changeup, pulled the string, had him way out in front, and missed it by plenty.
Close pitch off the plate, I guess. 3-2. So Jackie Bradley will be off and running at first base. Butler playing behind him. So Bradley runs, and it's a swing and a miss by Mookie Betts. Side retired. Travis Shaw with a 3-run homer here in the bottom of the 5th. It's now 11-0 Red Sox. The CSN All-Star Teacher Program is upon us, recognizing teachers that make a difference. Visit csncalifornia.com and vote. The winner receives $20,000 for his or her school. So it's the top of the 6th from Fenway Park. Red Sox swinging the hot sticks again tonight after scoring 14 runs last night. 11 tonight, and they lead 11-0. Sean O'Sullivan is the guy that is saying thank you very much for all these runs. Brock Holt comes in the game. So Holt is at second base. Pedroia is out. Giant shift on for Chris Davis. Davis tonight has grounded out to second, and he has grounded out to short. So Dustin Pedroia will get the rest of the night off. He was 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a walk. And Davis lines one to center for a hit.
Now, Major League Baseball celebrates all forms of youth baseball and softball, from organized league games to simply playing catch. Come out to the Coliseum on May the 28th and 29th for MLB's inaugural Play Ball Weekend, proudly supported by Chevrolet and Scott's. On Sunday, May 29th, 10,000 fans receive a bat and ball set. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets. And I think the 28th is the great Josh Reddick's bobblehead. That's right, the 28th. So fireworks. I mean, a lot of good things going on at the Coliseum the end of May.
Stephen Vogt hits one toward right center, and it's going to get down for a hit in front of Bradley. A couple of hits to start the 6th inning for the A's. That's 9 hits now for the Athletics.
Backdoor breaking ball and did not come all the way in. Stephen Vogt hit it towards the end of the bat, which probably helped it. Is also Bradley headed towards left field. Got the ball pulled into right center.
So that'll bring up Butler. Billy Butler's got a couple of hits. And that one to the backstop. Everybody moves up.
A backhand wild pitch. Hannigan just took his glove out to backhand, and I mean, we talked last night how tough it is to backhand the ball as a catcher and put it in the catcher's mitt. Well, there's an example. Didn't move his body in front, although looking for a ball more inside and not able to move his body to the right to block it, so he tried to stab it with his glove.
So now Butler with a chance to get the A's on the board. Taps this one right back to O'Sullivan, who checks the runner and flips to first. So that's not going to get it done.
That's too bad, because Billy Butler had a couple of hits coming into this at bat. Base hit to center. Base hit hard to left field. And Sullivan with runners in scoring position to a ball that he hit off the end of the bat. Cut fastball.
So it's Alonso's turn to drive somebody in. Alonso has fouled out to the catcher and hit a fly ball to center field. The A's in this series are 4 for 17 with runners in scoring position. The Red Sox are 12 for 22. Davis at third, Vogt at second. And there's a shot toward left field, and that's a base hit. It's going to get 1 run home. They'll hold Vogt at third. So Davis scores, and Yonder Alonso's got a pretty good swing going right now.
Yeah, that opposite field stroke for him is outstanding. They're pitching him that way, and he's going to left field. Stayed inside the ball, even though pitch was away, and as he said, they're pitching me away. I'm not going to try to pull them. A couple doubles left center, and tonight this ball into left center as well to drive in a run.
So that's his 8th RBI of the year, and now a chance for Simeon. Simeon has singled and he has grounded out. So 83 pitches for Sean O'Sullivan. Should reach the seats, and it will. So 1-1. Rays and the Mariners will play tonight in Seattle. That'll be game 2 of that series. Mariners won last night behind Felix Hernandez 5-2.
Playing good baseball.
They are.
And they're going home to play good baseball as well. Not a bad way to start with Felix on the mound.
The Mariners have won 6 out of their last 8, and they're 19 and 13 on the year. Smiley for the Rays, Miley for the Mariners. Say it slowly. Smiley for the Rays. Miley for the Mariners.
Smiley, Miley. That's pretty good.
Smiley, Miley.
Rays in Seattle. They'll be heading home to host the Athletics starting Friday. Long trip for them from the great Northwest to South.
The Red Sox will get the out at second, but not at first. So Simeon's going to get an RBI, and it's 11-2. Vogt gets a run scored.
Slowly hit by Simeon with good speed as well, able to avoid a double play. The A's on the board.
So 16th RBI for Simeon, and now Coghlan will hit with 2 outs. Yeah, both the A's and the Rays will have an off day on Thursday.
I would think the Rays are extremely happy, considering that's as far that you could fly.
That's the longest.
Yeah, to go from Seattle to St. Petersburg.
That's the longest flight for us as well.
That's true.
The Rays right at the 500 mark, 15-15.
Well, Coco went to start the end game, but they didn't call it, but they did on Chris Coghlan.
And Coghlan hooks one fair down the right field line. Simeon is going to hit the bag at third. He'll stop there, and Coghlan has a double, so he's got a couple of hits tonight.
Simeon moved up to 8th. Coghlan hitting 9th, and the A's need now is a big 2-out hit. Another breaking ball coming into the swing of a left-handed hitter. That's the pitch that O'Sullivan has had a problem with tonight.
Yeah, it's been kind of flat.
Yeah, and to lefties, he throws it. He did throw one good one down and in to get a strikeout. That was to Josh Reddick. That's probably the only one. Carl Willis, pitching coach, maybe to find out how do you feel, and they'll get some bullpen activity. That's Robbie Ross. We can tell by the hair.
That's right. Robbie Ross, the left hander. O'Sullivan has given up 11 hits tonight in 5 2/3 innings. 5 of those hits, make it 4 of those hits coming in this inning. So he'll face Coco Crisp, who's 0 for 3. Pitch number 89 coming up from O'Sullivan. And that one up and in, 1-0.
Coco turning away, but bottom line, it was up and in, maybe not as far, but when you're standing at the plate and it comes close to your head, you're going to move out of the way anyway. And Coco does not stride, so for him, standing flat-footed makes it seem a little bit closer.
Pitch is hit to left field and hit well. Young going back. He's going to turn around and it's going to go off the wall. 2 runs are going to score, and Coco stops at second as Young fell down out in left field. But it's a 2-run double, and now it's 11-4. So 4 runs and 5 hits here in the 6th inning.
Well, this hit the wall, and maybe Sean O'Sullivan's hit the wall as well. Because that pitch elevated Coco with a ball up near his head and a pitch away from him, and hit at the top of the out-of-town scoreboard and then bounced straight up and then back as Chris Young went for it. He fell down with the ball staying behind him as he tried to reach, but Coco was going to be satisfied with a double.
And here's Burns. Young's going to get this one, and he does. But the A's with 4 runs on 5 hits. So bottom of the 6th coming up is now 11-4.
this? Andrew Triggs pitching in Baltimore. Fernando Rodriguez had struck out the side. Triggs does the same. Comes in, throws great. This was the 26th man. And he decided, let's go sit down with the Orioles since I just struck him out. Then no, maybe not. Let's head over to my dugout. And something to smile about in a game in which the A's lost 5-2. But Triggs struck out the side, did a great job. But he will never, ever get to live that down because, you know, once it's on tape, it's forever on tape. And Triggs, though, did a great job and continues to do that. Got out of the last inning. And really, he's done nothing to disappoint anybody since he's been here.
And here he's facing Brock Holt for the first time. Holt took over for Pedroia last inning. Last night, Brock Holt hit a home run. He taps this one slowly. Simeon has it, throws across the diamond. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Follow Athletics Baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment, any moment, with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. Some good A's fans on hand tonight at Fenway Park. So they get to come back here. And Mikey Thalbaum also came back, and he's here with his son Stewie, touring Boston and also enjoying some A's baseball. Well, at least he's enjoying it. Baseball. A's.
He's enjoying Fenway Park.
Yeah, Fenway Park. He's, yeah.
Want to know the count to Bogaerts, who's 2 for 3, 2 singles, 2 runs, and an RBI. Good pitch there. That Rangers White Sox game is in the 3rd inning. They just finished the 2nd inning, but it's in a rain delay. So some nasty weather down in Arlington. They'll wait that one out. Good slider there, 1-2. Indians leading the Astros 2-0 after 3.
Well, check out the arm angle from Triggs, and kind of drops down and then throws from about the shortstop side. That's why he's very tough on righties. Slings the ball the same way to lefties and can make and throw quality pitches.
Well, he throws it across his body too.
Yeah.
You watch where that.
Yeah, it's just going to say that because he points the foot kind of the on-deck circle,
yeah,
the normal on-deck circle of the Athletics. Although with these dugouts as far away as they are, maybe not. But
yeah, that left foot, and then he kind of throws around his body. So I guess the ball's coming from at a little different angle when you do that.
Well, think about the late Don Drysdale. He had a similar delivery, and boy, righties did not like to face him.
More action for Marcus Simeon. And Bogaerts hustling down the line. He's just retired. Boy, he really does it the way. I mean, it looks like he's going to throw at the outside of the dirt around the home plate area.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about stepping into the other pitcher's hole. At the landing foot, you can see his to the left, and Sean O'Sullivan probably the one to the right, but you watch where he steps. It's going to be the dark spot just left. You see the 2 spots. He is to the left and maybe farther than that.
But he's also from the left side of the rubber,
exactly.
So he's really coming from a strange angle.
But it's working for him.
Inside to Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez is 3 for 3. Homer, single, single. He has scored 3 times. Big article in the Boston Globe this morning about Hanley Ramirez, how his teammates say he's just a different guy this year. More relaxed, maybe realizing that he does have somewhat of a leadership role on this team and taking to that role.
He signed a 4-year, $88 million contract. And I think Dave Dombrowski, the new president, watched him play first base and according to that article, told the staff, work him out at first. He can be a good one. And it did not work for him in left field. He's not going to play shortstop. That's where Bogarts is. That's Dave Dombrowski, the president, took over in August for the Red Sox.
Well, yeah, and he's not going to be traded.
No.
So you're going to have him for 3 more years. Let's figure this out. And turns out he's been okay at first base, and he'll only get better. I think part of the thing with Ramirez too, and this is just a perception. I'm not saying it's the truth, but there's a casualness to his style of play. And it can come across like he's really not playing hard. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm saying that's what it looks like sometimes, just from a perception standpoint.
And that was the perception last year when he played left field, and just the way he approached it. It was a tough year for the Red Sox last year, for all of them, including their manager. And actually, Torey Lovullo, about his manager, he said in spring training he went through a series of tests and nothing showed up. 5 months later, found out he had lymphoma. So, I mean, all that happened throughout the year, and then, of course, the team was playing poorly, and trying to go the old last to first again. But John Farrell went through the radiation or the chemotherapy treatments, came to the park, and he's back managing again.
Fair ball. Picked up by Vogt. He throws low, but Billy Butler digs it out. And a good inning for Andrew Triggs. 3 up, 3 down, 3 ground ball outs. So we're going to the 7th.
Josh Reddick bobblehead with spinning action presented by Comerica Bank. Saturday, May the 28th. That's a big weekend. 15,000 fans will walk away with a replica of one of the Gold Glover's signature catches. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 877-493-BALL. People who collect bobbleheads, they will definitely be in line for that one because that is Josh Donaldson tarp bobblehead. This is a Josh Reddick spinning bobblehead.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So Robbie Ross comes in. And Ross will face Reddick, Davis, and Vogt here in the 7th inning. Now, Robbie Ross with the Texas Rangers for a couple years. And now with the Red Sox. Yeah, the thing with bobbleheads now is they're getting creative.
Yeah, exactly.
Used to be just, oh, the guy would be swinging a bat or something. Well, now it's a different deal.
Yeah, used to be just tap their head and let it bobble.
That's right. No. Two more. MC Hammer. We had him.
How about that?
Looks like David Price to me.
Yeah, Orbit gets about as much attention as David Price.
That's his dog, right?
Yeah.
So full count to Reddick, who's 2 for 3. And that missed inside, so Reddick has a leadoff walk.
It's Orbit down at the feet of David Price.
Well, that is, I told you, creative.
Well, it's you know, David Price. You have a bobblehead. Let's be creative. It's a package deal. You have me. You have Orbit.
Orbit's looking at him like, you're the greatest. You're the greatest dad ever.
But David just wants the fans of Boston Red Sox to say the same thing.
0-1 to Chris Davis. Davis is 1 for 3. He singled leading off the 6th inning, and that got it started, and the A's scored 4 times.
If Sean O'Sullivan did not have a 3-ball count, you think he had a walk tonight?
Did not have a walk, did he? That would be really hard to do.
And what does Robbie Ross do? He walks the first batter he faces.
The Rangers tried to turn Ross into a starter. Did not work that great. He had that rookie year in 2012 where he was 6-0. He pitched in 58 games. He was very good. Next year he was good as well, but then in 2014 they made him a starter and it just did not go well. And that one is high, no swing, 2-2. And for Ross, this is now his 2nd year with the Red Sox.
I think I'm asking for an appeal. That's no swing. Chris Davis really keeps the bat close to him on those check swings.
And a high fastball. Davis chased it. So Ross kept pumping those high fastballs at Davis, and he finally got him swinging.
A little bit of the wild thing in Robbie Ross, but the high fastball, not many can catch up to one like that, about 95.
So Stephen Vogt will hit for the 4th time. Couple of lefties in that Red Sox bullpen, Ross and Lane. They're carrying 8 relievers. So are the A's. With Cologne, the A's have 3 lefties down there. Stephen Vogt singled and scored in the 6th inning. He has also hit a fly ball to left field and a fly ball to center field. Infield defense straight up for Stephen Vogt. Outfield has Jackie Bradley just shifted toward left center a little bit.
Well, those mid to upper 90s fastballs to lefties probably should be playing to left field.
And Stephen Vogt chased that one 96 miles an hour. So Ross, well, he's got kind of that herky-jerky delivery. He's throwing hard.
Well, and hitting the outside corner as well. That one off the plate, but the 2 previous ones at about 96 on the corner.
So with 2 outs, Billy Butler will hit. He's 2 for 3. 95 for a strike. Just a little low again. Right at 95 miles an hour. Really not messing around with a whole lot of off-speed stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty much saying, here's, if you got 95, 98, why would you do it? And I think he is proving that he's got it, he's using it, and he's not going to be there a long time anyway. So might as well go with his best fastball.
And that one bends Billy Butler back. 2-2 the count. Royals leading the Yankees 6-5 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Royals tough times right now. That one not close. Hannigan getting a workout back there.
I don't think you can count out the Royals no matter where they are. They have too good of a ball club. They got the fan support. And as long as they stay close, they probably feel they can come back and do anything.
3-2 pitch, a shot towards center, and playing it on a hop is Bradley, and it goes past him. Reddick's going to come around. He will score easily. Butler will get to second, and it's 11-5. So that is going to be an error on Bradley, and he dropped a fly ball last night, and he really is one of the better defensive center fielders in the American League.
But he tried to play this on a hop. Billy Butler just scorched it to center field and had some topspin. Once he hit it after charging, he hit the ground, and boy, it got past him and anybody with any speed as he had come in. This ball rose all the way to the wall, tried to use his bare hand, his glove, his body, and nothing.
So 13 errors as a team. 2 by Bradley. So here's Alonso. At the knees for a strike. So the A's trying to creep back. 4 last inning, 1 here in the 7th.
They gave him a double on that cut. No
yeah,
error.
well, I was just waiting to see the board.
It's hit a double, no error. That's called protecting that defense, man. Because that he butchered that one. That should have been a base hit, and Reddick to third base, but no error given, and so take it for Billy Butler getting an RBI double, giving him 3 hits for the night.
Well, if the official score says, well, he didn't touch it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Thank you. I mean, he tried every way, but the ball just ate him up. I mean, he tried to use every part of his body, but couldn't do it.
I mean, I have no idea how that is not an error. I mean, watch it.
It's a ball that bounces in front of him and to his right, and you don't get an error. That's a generous scorekeeper there.
I want that guy on my team.
Yeah.
Keep going like that, you'll hit 400.
Well, Robbie Ross would probably call him at the end of the game.
Yeah,
So
Robbie
what are you
Ross
doing?
Is not going to be happy.
Because that should have been a single E8, no RBI, but A's will take it. They got the run anyway, and for Billy Butler, he's got to love it. Gives them 4 driven in on the season.
Three and 2 the count.
Now Robbie Ross is throwing 105
Yes,
instead of 95. So that's talk about getting the stride out and overthrowing. He's doing it now. Slider.
Nice play by Shaw on the backhand. Throws, and Ross is able to get his foot on the bag. And a nice play on both ends. And that will do it for the A's in the 7th. They do get a run, so it's 11-5. Seventh inning. Here's our true story brought to you by McDonald's. Ted Williams, maybe the greatest Red Sox of all time. 19 seasons, all here in Boston. Won the MVP a couple of times. Won the batting championship 6 times. The year he hit 406, he did not win the MVP. He just wasn't good enough that year, right?
No.
Just wasn't good enough.
Not for a 56-game hitting streak.
So 2,654 career hits, and boy, what a classic swing. He was a big, tall hitter.
You notice the hat, no helmet as far as they wear today. No, they wore the Scully inside the hat. And the number 9, of course, retired. As they say, the greatest hitter perhaps of all time, or at least in the eyes of many. But what a great swing he had.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the notes. He had a career 482 on base percentage. You know, that was possible.
But you know, he talked about it and kind of jokingly said that, oh, that's a left kneecap.
So Chris Young is hit by the pitch by Triggs. So he's
got him in the kneecap.
A little slow to get up.
Well, they dropped down, just did not get at the inside, and check the left knee right there. Tried to get out of the way, but it hit the kneecap. He had the protection down lower, but
so Young will jog to first, so it's good that he's okay.
But Keith, if you had such a great eye, and the umpire said if Ted doesn't swing it's a ball, you would have a high on base percentage.
You know, well, that's true. You could be as high as you wanted it to.
You know, really, because that's saying that if it's strike, he's going to swing and hit it, but if he takes it, it's going to be an automatic ball.
How about this, Ray? So Ted Williams won the American League Triple Crown twice.
Yeah.
1942 and 1947. Those were not the years he won the American League MVP.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And he didn't win the MVP the year he hit 406.
Right. And the year he hit 406, they said sit out because your 399 average will round up to 400. And he said, I'm going to play. Plays a doubleheader, ends up 406. So that many at bat. Oh, let it go.
Driggs fires to second. Out there, the throw to first is late and wide. So Rutledge is aboard on the fielder's choice. And Travis Shaw will hit for the 4th time.
I want to say it was the All-Star game or an All-Star game when they threw him a blooper pitch and he hit a home run. and one of the greatest of all times. But they have a red seat painted in right field in the bleachers. Can't see it because somebody sits there every game. But it's where he had a home run. And you talk about a long shot. Above the bullpens in right field. Maybe our crew, if they have not already recorded it before somebody sits in it, maybe tomorrow they can show it. But it's an unbelievable distance in right field where he hit it.
0-1 to Shaw. I'm still in disbelief that he won the Triple Crown twice and hit 406 and did not win the MVP in any of those 3 years. Must have been a pretty good player somewhere else in the American League. Huh? 0-2 pitch, base hit right field. Rutledge is going to try for third. The throw sails past everybody, and Rutledge is going to get home because the ball went up into the stands. So Reddick overthrew the cutoff man. Alonso could not make the play, and it's going to be a run for the Red Sox and an error by Reddick.
On the breaking ball coming into the left-hander, that was the first one that allowed the base hit to occur, and Reddick, seeing the runner going to third, thinking they had a chance to get him, and a little bit up the left field line. But Josh, a very strong, normally accurate arm. And into the dugout, nothing you can do about that.
So it's a single E9, no RBI, and a run for the Red Sox, 12-5.
They gave him an error on that?
They gave him an error, yeah. First pitch to Hannigan, tapped slowly. Simeon's been busy tonight. He's handled everything. 2 outs.
What's great about Marcus Semien, you're correct. He has been busy. Bob Bellman's going to make a move, but Semien, it seems like every ball that's hit to him now, his footwork is excellent.
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah.
Throws are sharp. Everything working well for Marcus. He's put in a lot of work in with Ron Washington, and it's paying off.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Triggs is done. Zepchinski coming in.
CSN California is brought to you by Toyota. It's Toyota time for big savings on legendary Toyota quality. Take a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
So the Red Sox have scored another run. It's their 12th run of the game. They got a runner on third, 2 outs. So Zepchinski comes in, and he's coming in to face Jackie Bradley. So lefty on lefty. No wins or losses, but a very nice ERA, 1.42 by Zepchinski. And his first pitch is at the knees on the inside corner for a strike. Jackie Bradley is 1 for 3. He singled in the 5th inning. That extended his hitting streak to 16 games. So Bradley is a nice guy to be able to bat 9th in your lineup. Lots of production from the 9th spot.
You look at Bradley, Betts, and Pedroia, normally from 9-1-2. They can set the table nicely for the middle part of the batting order.
Two and one to Bradley. Well, you think about when you played, Ray. This is what Bradley did last night. Well, that's a hanger, folks.
Hanging curveball, grand slam.
You think about lineups when you played, Ray. Almost every lineup was hitting 9th was a light hitting second baseman or shortstop.
That's
right? I mean, that's
you're right. Exactly right.
Just the way it was. I mean, for your A's teams, I mean, Dick Green was a good player, but he wasn't he was more of a defensive second baseman.
Yeah, the DH changed a lot of things in the American League. With Ron Bloomberg, the first DH. It allowed managers to keep the pitcher out of the game.
And that's going to be another hit and another run as Shaw trots in. Jackie Bradley's 2 for 4. Well, it's hard to not be impressed by the Red Sox offense. It's really what we're seeing now is teams trying to put together a strong 1 through 9, not just a strong 3, 4, 5. So Bradley gets his 22nd RBI.
3rd consecutive games his A's staff has allowed double figures in runs.
That's not good.
No. You need, you know, and again, 2 of the 3 tonight, definitely not the case, but 2 of the 3 the A's an early lead and couldn't hang on.
That one is going to trickle foul. So on that note, 11 or more runs allowed in 3 straight games. Last time that happened, 2000, August 9th, 10th, and 11th. First 2 games were at New York, and then it's the Tigers. Well, that season turned out okay.
Yeah.
One and 1 the count to Mookie Betts, who's 2 for 4. Runs on 15 hits. And that under the glove of Alonso. Simeon picks it up and he'll hold on to it. Have no idea what they're going to call that.
Probably a base hit. I mean, if you
that would fit what they're doing.
That's right. You take care of the defense and help your offense. Fieldable ball, and Alonso played enough third. He just missed it. And it's going to be an error. I see it already coming up on the scoreboard operator. Actually, now they have 2 because Reddick made an error.
Yep. There it is.
Yeah.
E5. The green light. So 2 on, 2 out, and Brock Holt hits for the 2nd time. Holt came in for Pedroia in the 6th. And now he's ahead in the count 2-0. So this has been a weird inning. Hit batter, fielder's choice, single, air, ground out, single, E5. Butler has it, and that will do it for the Red Sox. In the bottom of the 7th, they score twice. So we're moving to the 8th inning, 13-5, Boston. Hey, we got in-depth sports news for the Bay Area fan know-it-all with Sportsnet Central, brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30 on our sister station, CSN Bay Area. All Steph Curry all the time. Why not? He deserves it. Sacramento Kings got a new coach. Ed Free and Dave Feldman will host. So congratulations to Steph Curry. Second straight year that he's the most valuable player in the NBA. And for the first time in the history of the NBA, he is the unanimous most valuable player. How could he not be? I mean, seriously, is somebody going to not vote?
Yeah, right.
What he did last night, I don't know that I've ever seen any basketball player put on more of a spectacular show. He's truly sensational, and it showed last night. He was so good it was comical. Simeon to lead it off. You see Tasawa, the new pitcher. So Tasawa comes in. Been a big part of the Red Sox bullpen for a while now. Tasawa facing Simeon here in the top of the 8th inning. And Simeon up the middle, and he's got a base hit. He's 2 for 4. Well, we will be back tomorrow night here at Fenway Park. It'll be afternoon back in the Bay Area. A's pregame live will get us started at 3:30, and then the ball game at 4:10. First pitch again. Eric Surkamp has been called up, or will be called up, and he's going to make the start, and he'll be opposed by Rick Porcello, and Porcello's having a very good year for the Red Sox. So that is tomorrow, the third and final game of this series. And again, Eric Surkamp has been announced. He will be the A's starting pitcher.
And we will be back.
Can't wait.
We'll be back.
A shot. Tazawa want to play, but he throws it away. So the out will be recorded on the line drive, but there will be an error, I think, on the throw to first.
That's good. I like that.
A tough break for Coughlin. He hit it right on the nose, but Tazawa made a heck of a play.
Well, it was headed toward his head and also to center field, but he caught it right back at you right there, put the glove up, and then too quick of a throw. Coughlin singled sharply to center field in the first pick of the second inning and got the hit, but no RBI. Well, this is scary when you're 60 feet, about maybe 56 feet away, and the ball comes right back at you, and Went right through the legs of Marcus Semien for an error.
Coco Crisp hits for the 5th time. He had a 2-run double in the 6th. Curve by Tazawa in their first strike. Now the Red Sox, their first error tonight. A's made a couple last inning, so a little sloppy here late.
Well, the Red Sox made an error that was charged to them. Actually, hard not to. But I figured that, Kite, because all this is a result of the rainout on Friday night. Because the A's did not have a delay or rainout all last year. They have one this year. Look what's happened since then. They won the opener, the day-night doubleheader, but double figures in runs. 5 on Saturday night, then double figures Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Blame it on the rain.
That's right. That didn't come.
Yeah, there's that split finger by Tazawa. It's a good pitch, and Coco chased it. 2 away here in the 8th.
He has a good split. Uehara, the former closer, now setup man, also a very good split.
Well, there's some similarities in Tazawa and Uehara. I think Tazawa maybe throws a little harder.
Tazawa the same setup all the time, where he takes his right arm over his head. He's already done that as he gets in the set position to get a sign from Hannigan.
Fastball first strike at 94 miles an hour. And for Tazawa, this is his 5th year in the big leagues. Matson's going to get an inning. He has not pitched in a while. There it is again. Yeah, Tazawa, he's been a workhorse out of that bullpen for the last 4 years. Oh, 2 to Burns. Burns is 1 for 4. He's got a single that was in the 5th inning. He had a line drive to right field. Hannigan, he wrestled with that one, was able to block it.
Give him 2 blocks on this one.
The double block.
This ball bounces so far out in front of home plate. That's a block. That's a goalie block there. He's wearing a goalie mask. He catches the knuckleballer of Stephen Wright. This guy's caught last night. More likely to be in the game tomorrow night.
Again blocked. I would say if you know your pitcher throws that splitter, I mean the splitter is, it's going to be in the dirt a lot.
Yeah. Well, and you can watch a catcher and he'll tell you what pitch is going to be called and he's going to be thrown, because Hannigan actually set up like he's a goalie. Spread the legs, ball's in the dirt, and takes one off his wrist, and he's feeling it. He's got to call it though, and that's one of the better pitches for Tazawa, especially with a couple of strikes. See him set up. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just spreads wide, and 3rd consecutive pitch that's called a splitter.
Burns trying to get Semien home. Would Tazawa throw it again?
No.
Goes with a high fastball. So pitching up and then pitching down. Actually pitching down then pitching up.
See what Hannigan did there? Put his right hand behind his back for a fastball. He did that for Tampa Bay when he played down there. when an off-speed pitch, some sort of a breaking ball, he gets set up with both hands out in front. But that time, when you said he would throw it again, when he set up with the hand behind the back, that's a fastball because he doesn't have to worry about blocking a fastball like he would have split.
All right, I'm looking at his hand there.
All right, let's see what he does.
Splitter. I think we were right, weren't we? Close play at first, and they just got Billy Burns. Tazawa was able to get over there, and it was a bang-bang play. So the A's do not score in the top of the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up from Fenway, 13-5 Red Sox. To you by your local Toyota dealers. 5-14-2 for the A's, 13-15-1 for the Red Sox. Sean Manaea, tough outing. He got knocked out in the 3rd inning, gave up 8 earned runs. Reddick stays hot, and a 3-hit night for Billy Butler. Boy, just too much offense for the Red Sox. Travis Shaw with 5 RBIs. Hanley Ramirez with a long 2-run homer early in this game, the very 1st inning. So, again, it's all about the Red Sox offense. And Ryan Madson comes in.
Got to get him in sometime, and it's unfortunate that this is a game similar to Axford last night.
Well, Madson last pitched on Wednesday, and that was at home against the Mariners. So nearly a week. Call the ball, I guess. 2-0 to Bogaerts.
Wow. Oh, I put it down as a strike. Looked like a strike to me.
Yep. Bottom of the 8th, Bogaerts, Ramirez, and Young. It's going to be retired. That is not Reddick, it's Coghlan. So Coghlan is in right field. The Ladendorf is in the game at second base. So a few changes. Bob Melvin says, hey, get one of my regular guys off his feet, even if it's for an inning or two.
Now Marcus Semien wants to play every day, every inning, and Billy Butler hasn't played, so he wants to stay in. There's Jed Lowry. Who knows whether he's available in Valencia? So you have Fegley, really. There's not. That's about it.
Ramirez waves at the first pitch from Madson. Good swing there by Hanley Ramirez. Craig Kimbrell. That's the guy you want to see when you're down by 8 in the 9th inning. He couldn't wait to get in a game, could he?
And I don't think it'd be Jonathan Papelbon a few years ago whenever he came in and imploded. Non-save situation. Hey, it would not be a game unless Stephen Vogt takes one. That's 2 strike, and Vogt are trying to block it in case it's a wild swing, but this pitch in the dirt got him on the right hand. Ugh. Right hand, right wrist, someplace. Check the right hand. Try to keep the hand in front of you in case the ball does do that. You want to try to block it, but it missed his glove. Got him on the right hand.
See, that's the 2 striking. If there's not 2 strikes, you don't have to block it.
Exactly right.
Forget about it. Let it go right past you. A shot foul. It's that side wall right there that you got to be heads up on.
And that is a short wall. Man. Done a lot of interviews down that area before they open the gates. Just sit up on the wall. I mean, you just lean, just sit. I mean, because it's so short.
Ramirez also a couple of singles tonight, and that one is a screamer off that side wall, and then it bounces all the way past the Red Sox dugout and down the line into the seats. Those folks are safe. They got the new netting right in front of them.
Well, that is so good to see, too.
It extends right to the edge of the dugout.
Even Carl Willis, the pitching coach, says, I'm going to stay behind you.
I would.
Yeah. See what Stephen then he said, forget about it.
I don't blame him.
Just do a little backhand. Stephen's a gamer. Actually, they may be saving Fegley for a pitching performance. So, I mean,
Bob said he didn't want to use him 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
So a full count to Hanley Ramirez with Chris Young in the on deck circle. And pitch that is a bit low, and it's a walk. Ramirez is on base for the 4th time.
And he's a DH tonight, so he's staying in the game. Well, you don't like to see your closer or one of your closers have to come to the game, but saw Sean Doolittle come in last night and John Axford tonight, Brian Madsen, but they have to stay sharp. I mean, you go for a period of time where they're overworked. You wonder if they're going to get any time when they're catch a breather, but now kind of underworked. There's Doolittle, and Fernando Rodriguez worked last night. All the relievers are working. Even some of the position players are pitching and working.
Chris Young bounces one foul at the plate. Indians still leading the Astros. It's 2-0 in the 7th inning. Trevor Bauer pitching that game for Cleveland. Indians got a couple of runs early in that game. Rangers are still in a rain delay in Arlington against the White Sox. Chris Young, shallow right center, and that'll be another hit. So Chris Young has 3 hits, and he's on base for the 4th time.
Play at Fenway Park, and you know the right fielder because there's so much distance in right field. He has to play deep. So a ball that's hit like that, not surprised to see Ramirez headed to second easily. The ball kind of a no man's land, but Coghlan still had a long way to come to even get to the ball.
So here's Rutledge. So 16 hits now for Boston. Crazy game going on at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees had a 1-run lead, and Lorenzo Cain hit a home run in the top of the 8th inning off Andrew Miller, and it was his 3rd home run of the game, and it tied the game. That one tapped up the line, and of course it's going to stay fair, and it'll be a hit. Bases loaded, 1 out. So it stayed on the grass. You're hoping it rolls off that grass. Are they saying it's foul ball though?
Hit his foot.
Okay.
Well, I know that when we were in Baltimore, it showed how close the grass went up to the foul line. What happened? Did it hit his body?
Well, Larry Vanover, he put his hands up right away.
Well, if it hit the plate, it must have ticked Rutledge as it headed towards third base.
So it is not a hit. It's an 0-2 count down the right field line. But anyways, in that game, Ray, let's take one more look at this. I think it hits behind the plate.
But if it hits behind the plate, it doesn't matter. Does it hit him? It had to hit him on the elbow. Hit him on the right elbow.
Just caught him in the elbow.
Because if the ball hits behind the plate and spins forward,
it doesn't matter.
It's a fair ball. Yeah. Unless it hits part of the body, it must have hit his right arm, the elbow, or left arm, right, whatever, as he got out of the box.
To third. Alonso gets the out at second, on to first, and it's not in time. So it goes as a fielder's choice for Rutledge. Runners at the corners now with 2 outs. Travis Shaw will step in, and he's had a huge night. He's 3 for 4 with a homer and 5 RBIs. So Lorenzo Cain ties it, Ray, in the top of the 8th inning off Andrew Miller. 3rd home run of the game.
And I just wonder, with Aroldis Chapman activated, they were using Miller as a setup, Betances setup, and go to Aroldis Chapman, the closer, and didn't get to him.
But the Yankees have just answered back. They've scored 3 times in the bottom of the 8th, and they now lead 10-7. So it has been a wild one. Well, Chapman pitched last night, right?
Yeah, he because that was his first night that he was eligible.
They got him in the game.
Yeah, but I would think he only threw 100, so he'd probably come in and throw 103, 104 tonight.
Just ease into it a little bit. Huh? Good pitch there by Matson. 2-1 the count. Tigers are leading the Nationals 5-4 interleague game. Tigers trying to break a 7-game losing streak. So they're 3 outs away from doing that. Close pitch. Orioles leading the Twins 3-1. That game in Minnesota. Good swing there. Shaw was looking for a fastball, and I think he got it. He was just a little late.
I like to see Brian Madsen pull the string on a changeup 3-2, since he had that kind of a swing 3-1, and probably thinking if he throws it 3-1, he'd throw it 3-2. But Madsen has a great changeup that he might be willing to pull the string. He has right-hander Hannigan in the on-deck circle, and when Alex Avila to strike him out to end the game in the Tiger, the White Sox, no, not fastball.
And that one misses badly to the backstop, and Hanley Ramirez came about a third of the way down, and then he stopped. So Shaw gets the walk. So now Ramirez at third, Rutledge at second, Shaw at first.
That ball came back hard, and Ramirez figured if he came down the line, he's going to be out, and might have been. That's where you want the secondary lead. Walk down the line, and you can have your momentum going to the plate. He evidently did not, because he should have scored on it.
So now Hannigan will step in. Matson has thrown 24 pitches. That one's hit to right, hit pretty well. Reddick hustling back. Reddick is there, and he's got it. That's Coughlin, excuse me. Coughlin in the game in right field. So Coughlin makes the play, and the Red Sox leave the bases loaded. Ninth inning coming up.
Your family to the ballpark on a Friday night with the Friday Family Pack. You get 4 Plaza level tickets, 4 Coliseum hot dogs, 4 medium sodas, 4 bags of peanuts, and it's just $60 at every Friday home game. Buy now at athletics.com/family pack, subject to availability. Don Farrell pulling out all the stops. As 30 hits total in the game. Total of 18 runs, but unfortunately the A's are on the 8-run side short as they bring in the closer Craig Kimbrell, who is getting some work. 15th appearance for the right-hander, who is basically a 2-pitch pitcher, but he throws the 1 pitch at about 98, throws a curveball, and he slings the ball. So Dave Dombrowski said the Red Sox are going to win this year. They need somebody to close the game. But that Uehara was maybe a little bit past his prime as far as closing games and saving them. So he got Kimbrell, and Kimbrell has been pretty good in his career.
Well, and you trade for a guy like this. The thing with Kimbrell is he has a contract that runs through 2017 with a club option for 2018. So if you exercise that option, you know you're going to have him for 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. The Red Sox gave the Padres 4 prospects. And from everything I read, 4 very, very, very strong prospects, but they're prospects.
And as we mentioned last night, Dave Dombrowski, unlike the previous management, not afraid to give some of those young prospects to get a bona fide major league closer. And he got one.
Look at that. Saves since 2011. Not even close. Wow. I mean, he had 5 dominant years with the Atlanta Braves and then traded from the Braves to the Padres Just 1 year in San Diego. He had 39 saves last year for the Pods. His numbers in Atlanta. Wow. Came up in 2010, and the rest of the National League kind of gulped. He pitched in 21 games after being called up from the minor leagues and had a 0.44 ERA. In that first year, he struck out 40 in 20 innings. So I think everybody knew what was coming with this young man. He's still only 27 years old.
And does not have to throw anything more than what he's throwing right now. Just throw it 98. Interesting setup, as he has always done this same thing where he opens up, puts his arm up. There it is.
Well, there's that slider. But the Red Sox felt like trading for him and then trading for Carson Smith too. They're pretty happy with remake of their bullpen. I can understand why. Three-two pitch to Eidendorf, struck him out. So he got him with the heater.
But after missing with a 2-2 slider, how often have we said here comes the fastball? But it's kind of the old equalizer. 97 on the inner part of the plate. Upshoot. If he can do that for an inning, throw 97, 98, sheesh. You know, that's a lot of saves. So you figure by the year 2017, he'll have 300.
Yep.
He's at 233 now.
There's the heater, 97 miles an hour.
Usually the first hitter has the best chance because then he gets in a groove and starts pumping the fastball in, upper 90s. So when the Red Sox play the Yankees and Aroldis Chapman pitches, and both are pitching in the 9th inning, a lot of heat thrown.
Fun to watch.
Combined 200 miles per hour. One at 97, one at 103.
And he went with a little slider, and good job by Chris Davis. So 87 miles an hour on the slider. Davis has his second hit, so he's 2 for 5.
Stayed with it, and you know, Chris Davis is a good breaking ball hitter because of the home runs that he's hit, which total 7 now. They've got him 5 on curveballs, 1 slider, or maybe 4 curveballs and a slider, and a couple of fastballs.
So Stephen Vogt will step in. He's looking for his second hit. Singleton scored in the 6th. Chris Davis will head to second base. Funny, you watch a guy like Kimbrel, and you wonder, how does he have a 3.46 ERA?
That's right. Well, they gave up a 2-run home run to Rasmus in Houston.
That's right.
To tie the game. You pitch 1 inning, give up a couple of earnings, then they can get elevated a little bit. Stephen Vogt did a good job at taking the first pitch, which was out of the strike zone, but with the runner on the move on the indifference, you swing the bat, line of drive to the infield, it's going to be double play. And so Vogt taking the pitch, allowing Davis to get to second base on the indifference.
Kimbrel's given up a couple of home runs this year. Slider, good pitch, came around the plate a little bit. Chris Davis from the Orioles has also homered off Kimbrel this year. So a couple of left-handed hitters. Another slider, 2-2, 87 miles an hour.
Did you ever notice that closers are always a little bit strange?
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, just Kimbrel throws hard, but just his setup is different. Ollie had the handlebar mustache.
Yeah. See, I think this is like, I mean, that's unique.
Yeah, it is.
And I like it.
Yeah, I've never seen it before, and he's been consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, every pitch he's very consistent, but he's closing.
And he called him out. The late call by Larry Vanover.
Just a slight delay.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
I mean, this had a lot of the plate, the slider, the back door, and
that's not a strike. I think that comes around the plate.
It does come around, and now you look at the side view. Hannigan, as we have noted, catchers are back at least 3 feet. So if he's on the corner, it's got to come around the plate to get to the glove.
So 2 away. Here's Butler. Fastball a little bit high at 98.
In a game like this game with an 8-run lead, last thing Kimbrel wants to do is give up a hit with a runner in score position because it inflates the ERA even more. And all he's doing is getting some work in.
Butler's got 3 hits tonight.
Oh,
be careful.
Cross up.
Not the guy you want to be crossed up with.
Hannigan, a good job. He's looking fastball because his right hand's behind him. But here comes the breaking ball. And
funny, and the replay's in slow motion. How he got his glove back down a little bit.
And he called it a strike because it was in the middle of the plate. And see, they complain about the ball that David Ortiz had called on him when Brian McCann was crossed up with the bases loaded. Hey, Hannigan is emphatically putting the signs down. Please watch what I give you.
That's a strike outside corner. So now Billy Butler behind in the count 1-2. Red Sox trying to wrap up game 2 of this series. Kimbrel kicks and delivers, and it's fouled right side. Plenty of hits tonight. The A's have 15. Chris Davis, the runner at second. He had a base hit. And this one's hit toward right center. Bradley backing over. He's got it, and that's the ball game. So the Boston Red Sox, for the second night in a row, swing the big sticks as they have scored 27 runs in the first 2 games of this series. So the A's will try to salvage the final game of the series tomorrow night with Eric Surkamp going to the mound. 3 hours and 7 minutes was time of game. The attendance was 32,167. The final